Hey guys, welcome to KK Java Tutorials. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about MVC architecture. Yeah. So before proceeding, let me explain you what is MVC architecture in Java. MVC design pattern. This is sometimes also called design pattern, but I would say rather design pattern. I would say MVC architecture. So MVC architecture is one of the oldest architectural pattern for web application. MVC stands for model, view, and controller. MVC architecture pattern is used to separate the logic of different layers in an application in independent units. This is known as separation of concern, right? So if you look into the MVC, so here MVC, M stands for model, right? And basically model represents the business layer of application. Then we have a V stands for view, that is basically defines the presentation layer in an application. Then we have a controller, C stands for controller, that manages the flow of application, right? So here one thing you should keep in mind when we say model, so model is basically a combination of three things. We have a service plus DAW plus POJO, right? This is the combination of basically these three is the combination of model. When we say view means presentation layer, all the UI components, whether that is a JSP or a combination of JSP, HTML, CSS, view can be written in the different basically component, like you can have a Angular as well, right? Controller, of course, this is a Java component mostly, right? So controller is the one of the basically component which is responsible to manage all the requests which is coming from the basically end users, right? So let me explain you this MVC flow using an example. So just to save some time, I have already created a project. Here you can see the name of the project, Spring MVC form validation, right? So there I'm going to explain what is MVC, right? So here, of course, you can create an application using MVC pattern, and you may use technology like simple servlet, JSP, JDBC, right? Rather than using a framework like a Spring framework. But if you use like servlet, JSP, JDBC to create a web-based application like in MVC architectural pattern, then you may have lot of component which is having a basically a hard coupling, and JUnit test case would be very tough in that case, and apart from that maintenance would be difficult. So that's why choosing MVC framework would be more beneficial, because when you create a web-based application using MVC using a Spring MVC, then these components are loosely coupled, because we can make use of a Spring feature is called dependency injection, and most of the things are loosely coupled. So JUnit test cases as well as maintenance would be much easier. Yeah, so let me explain you this project is all about. So before explaining this project, let me run this application on my favorite server, Tomcat. So just I'm going to deploy and running this application. So when we run this application, then let's see, home page looks like something here you can see something like this. So let me run this application on external web browser. So if I run this, if I hit this URL on external browser, then this is the basically home page look like. So saying that welcome to KK Java tutorials, and there is a two link. One is login. If user is already registered, then user has to click on the login, and then if not, then click on the register, and here is the registration page. So here I am going to specify user email address, password, then name, first name. Then here you can specify basically phone number. So there is some kind of validation I had done on the back end. If phone number is wrong, then this is going to throw some exception. Here you can see please enter valid. So 10-digit phone number has to add, right? And if user fills this form and clicks on register button, then user gets registered, right? And this is the welcome page has been displayed, right? And if you look into the database, so here is the database. I think I have closed, yeah. So here is the toad and user has been registered. If I query database, then here you can see user has been registered. So this is very simple web-based application which I have created using Spring MVC, right? So let me explain you each and every piece of the code. So first of all, when user basically sends request from the UI, right, then request goes to the basically controller, one of the controllers. So when user basically sends request from the UI, then basically request is intercepted by the something is called dispatcher servlet, and which is configured in the web.xml. So if you look in the web.xml, so this is the dispatcher servlet which we have to register as a controller in MVC, right? And request is intercepted by the dispatcher servlet. Now dispatcher servlet basically takes help of handler mapping. So and handler mapping tries to find the appropriate basically controller based on the specified URL and plus HTTP method, and that decides the appropriate controller, and request will send to the appropriate controller, right? Now if basically user hits home page, then home.jsp will be displayed, right? So here already we have seen home.jsp, which basically provides two hyperlink, one for login, another for register, right? Now if user clicks on login button, then login.jsp will be displayed, right? And that's how you can see URL pattern is /login and HTTP method is get. So login.jsp will be displayed to the user, and user has to enter username and password and click on submit button if user has already registered. Else if user clicks on register tab, then this basically request handler method basically sends register.jsp basically register.jsp gets displayed, right? Now if user basically gets registered successfully after entering all the data, then this method gets invoked, right? So now this method, you can see URL pattern is register success, and method is called state method is called post. So all the data which is entered by the user in the register.jsp page, right, that gets populated in the this student object, and we may take help of model attribute. That's the basically provides the functionality to populate all the fields in this basically student object. If you look into the register.jsp page, then few of the things like here you can see model attribute I have given the student, and that's what that gets automatically populated in this student object, right? So this is the backing bean in case of Spring MVC. HTML method is post, of course, and here a student has to fill this form, and whenever user clicks on the register button, then request is getting forwarded to the HTTP method which is having a URL pattern register success, and HTTP method is post, and that's what that is matching with this request handler method. Now here we look into the if any kind of data validation happens. Here you can see at valid, so this will go to the this model class and doing the all kind of validation. So here for validation purpose we have used a Hibernate validator, right? And here all kind of validations available. Any kind of validations fails, then that error gets populated into the binding result object. So here are binding results. If Spring MVC finds any kind of data validation error is there, then request is again basically I mean request will not navigate it to the some other page, but that will stay on the login.jsp itself, and that error will get displayed, right? And to display those kind of error, here you can see form.errors basically a tag we have used from Spring MVC. Yeah, pretty simple. Now if there is no error, then model and view object we have created, and we have just telling if user registration happens successfully, then welcome.jsp should be forwarded to the user. but before that we need to basically validate the user for a successful login, right? If that user is registered with the basically we are sending email and password to the database and verifying if that user exists on the database side, then model and view we are adding this model object so that we can display this model object value on the welcome.jsp. Else we will forward not found error page to the user, right? And here you can see everything we are setting model and view. Model and view means that contains the model object as well as view logical name, and this logical name is going to resolve by the internal resource view resolver that is mapped over here. So this is here dispatcher server.xml, which basically we have enabled Spring MVC, then we have registered a set of packages, right? In this package we have our controllers, in this package we have all the service classes, and in this package we have all the dog classes. Then internal resource view resolver we have registered for JSP, and prefix and suffix we have defined, right? Now here data source we have defined, right? This data source has a certain properties which is coming from the basically properties file, and we have told to Spring our properties file is available over here by registering the property placeholder configurer bean. So here all the database related properties we have kept, right? Now in this Spring MVC we have some basically uh, we have some key value pairs which we are using in the all the JSPs for error handling, and that key value pairs we have kept over here, right? So that's why we have registered one more meaning called reloadable resource bundle message source, and we have told where this properties file is available by specifying base name property, right? Apart from that we are using a Spring Hibernate integration. For that we have configured local session factory bean, and this takes the reference of data source which we have configured here, right? Apart from that this takes a little more properties like we have a session factory reference, right? And session factory reference, sorry, session factory is actually Hibernate template we have configured. Our DAW layer depends on Hibernate template, so that takes reference of session factory, and session factory related stuff we have configured over here, like local session factory takes a reference of data source. Then we have Hibernate entity classes. So for that we have all the, in this case we have only one entity class, but in your case you can have n number of entity class. All the classes you have to configure over here, and we have some Hibernate related property like dialect, HBM2 DDL, show SQL, and format. These all properties we have defined inside the profs, right? And here everything is almost I have explained you, right? And these are the JSP we have, right? So here welcome.jsp, that was the final JSP which basically responsible to render all the fields to the end user after successful registration, right? Now if you look into the our control class has couple of more methods, right? So if you look into uh, this is the method which is annotated with @model attribute, which basically sets some value in the model like header message, and some of the values which gets basically add initially list of technology we have added in this list, and list of cities we have added in this, and this value we are adding in the model like technology list and cities list, and using this key we are displaying this value on the basically register.jsp. If you look at the register.jsp, this value we are displaying from controller, right? So if you look select in this so we have a form options tag, and there inside the items we are just displaying this technology list, and similarly cities list we are displaying over here. But in real scenario you shouldn't basically hard coded these stuffs in the controller method itself. This was supposed to comes from the database. So list of cities or list of technology we should basically populate it into a database, so that tomorrow if you would like to add some more technology or cities, then easily you can add in the database, and control will picked up the latest value, latest list from the database, right? So just for demo purpose I have hard coded this stuff in the basically controller. But from here you can make call to the service, and service makes call to the DAO layer, and DAO basically reads data from the database. So this way we can basically make these values dynamic, right? So guys, here I hope you understood everything. Let me show you the DAO classes. DAO classes basically, so we have a architectural pattern. So here you can see basically our basically controller makes call to the service layer, right? And service makes call to the DAO layer, right? So we have a architectural MVC architecture pattern. So here now, here you can see DAO layer basically makes call to the database to verify whether user is registered or not, right? By passing email and password, right? And that's reads database, right? So here basically if you look into the architecture, right? So let me go to the slide again. So if you look into the architecture basically, so I hope you understood. The model is nothing but that's a combination of service, DAW plus POJO. View is nothing but that can be a JSP or that can be a Angular. But in MVC here I have shown you JSP, nothing but JSP. Sorry, view is nothing but JSP. Controller already have seen. We had created one controller, a student controller, but it's not mean that always you will have only one controller. You can have n number of controller. Now, as far as MVC flow concerned, so this is the flow diagram in case of MVC architecture. So first of all, what happens, user makes call to the MVC application from browser, any client program. Now request will be intercepted by the dispatcher servlet, which already is seen. I had configured web.xml. Now dispatcher servlet takes help of handler mapping, which basically tracks of all the controller in your application. Now handler mapping basically try to find the appropriate handler based on the basically URL and HTTP method provided, right? So now once handler mapping finds the appropriate controller, then that request will send to that controller, and appropriate request handler method will be executed, right? And that HTTP method will send back model and view object. So model and view object already you have seen that contains the model object, right, which has to display on the UI, and plus logical view name, right? Now dispatcher servlet takes help of view resolver, right? So internal internal resource view resolver already we have seen, right? That basically tries to find the appropriate view, right, by taking the logical view name from model and view, and that is prefixing and suffixing, and that will try to resolve the view name. And finally dispatcher servlet sends the model and view object to the that view, and view will be rendered with the appropriate basically data which is extracted from the model and view, right? That's the basically control flow of Spring MVC, right? Now let's see what's the benefit of Spring MVC. So there are a lot of advantage of Spring MVC architecture. So first advantage is multiple developers can work with the three layers, model, view and controller simultaneously, right? So if you follow MVC architecture, then UI guys can work on the UI component, and Java guy can work on the Java component simultaneously, right? There is clear separation, right? We have a clear separation, and that's the reasons. Now second advantage, navigation control is centralized in controller. So all the requests will be intercepted by the dispatcher servlet. So dispatcher servlet, any request cannot escape the dispatcher servlet. So there is the centralized basically control flow in Spring MVC. Now as components have the lower dependency on each other, they are easy to maintain. So here you can see when we develop a Spring MVC application, then there is every component loosely coupled, because we are making use of dependency injection of a Spring feature, and that's why each layer is basically loosely coupled, so that unit test as well as maintenance would be easier. Next advantage, model can be reused by the multiple views, which provides reusability of the code. So model can be used by the multiple views, and that's the basically feature of reusability. Now adoption of MVC makes an application more expressive and easy to understand. So if you look into the Spring MVC, so every layer has a separate responsibility. So if you try to understand the application code, that is easy to understand, right? Now finally, last but not the least, extending and testing of application becomes easy as every component is loosely coupled. So testing of this component would be much easier, right? So that's all about MVC architecture in Java. If you have any question or any queries, then post below to the video. I will try to answer you. I have covered Spring MVC in much more detail. I hope you understood. Guys, big thank you for watching this video and see you there in the next video tutorial.